gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police when I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
July 28th, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a law that allows non-U.S. citizens to become police officers in the state. Several Republican politicians then tweeted claims that the state now allows illegal immigrants to police citizens in Illinois. But is that really the case? Let's verify. Our sources are House Bill 3751, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services.
All right, so J.B. Pritzker just passed a law that allows illegal aliens, particularly documented immigrants, right, is what they're saying, become police officers. So these are people with green cards, with work permits and whatnot, but it's still a sleight of hand toward the community and other working class people in Chicago, or in all of Illinois, but specifically Chicago. So let's keep going.
These claims are misleading, and here's why. The Illinois law allows non-citizens, including DACA recipients, to become police officers in Illinois, but only if they're legally allowed to work in the U.S. This means they need a green card or other work permit.
Undocumented immigrants are not allowed to become police officers in the state of Illinois still. What we have allowed is legal permanent residents and DACA recipients now to become police officers.
Non-citizens must meet the same requirements to become police officers as any other applicant, including a background check. Utah and California have similar laws that allow non-citizens to become officers. Other departments, including Maine State Police, Colorado State Patrol, and the New Orleans Police Department, also hire non-citizen officers. A report from the nonprofit Law Enforcement Immigration Task Force found departments are turning to non-citizens to help deal with a recruiting shortfall and diversify their ranks. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
So I just want to go back. He talked about increasing the police force. The only reason why they would need to increase the police force is simply because they defunded the police. I mean, it's absolutely insane how they're trying to. They defunded the police to get all of the old guard, white police officers out of Chicago, and now they're trying to replace them with documented immigrants, is what they're saying. But let's keep it a buck. They're going to let the undocumented slip through the cracks. I guarantee you they're going to make exceptions. And this is not good for the people of Illinois.
As usual, the far right is proposing or putting out their false information. They're saying that we're allowing illegal immigrants is the word that they would use. Undocumented immigrants are not allowed to become police officers in the state of Illinois still. What we have allowed is legal permanent residents and DACA recipients now to become police officers. So we have the ability for people who are legally in this country, and again, permanent residents or DACA recipients now, to apply for jobs as police officers. But I am tired of the right wing twisting these things. They put it out on Facebook. They tell lies.
Well, I mean, allowing documented immigrants to become police officers is not much better, okay? It really isn't. The priority of our security in cities, states, the priority should be to hire legitimate U.S. citizens, all right? It just, I don't even see why this is an option. Like, you can't find citizens to work for the police force. Well, maybe you can't because they're decentivized to, because of all the rhetoric coming out of the Democratic Party. So it's just like this guy's trying to stir up confusion. We already had the purge laws that he tried to put in. I don't think they were successful. He's passing 200 bills within the next couple of months on criminal justice reform. That's going to be exciting, right? So, I mean, this guy is ruining the state of Illinois, and how he was elected governor is beyond me.
They attack based upon those lies. They're perpetuating lies. So there are people out there that think that we're just allowing anybody to become a police officer. That's just not accurate. 2 other states already have provided this. We have a U.S. military that has 35,000 immigrants who are not U.S. citizens who are serving in the U.S. military today. 8,000.
And guess what? We don't support that either. We don't support that either. Because if you're allowing these immigrants to come into the country, what loyalty do they have to the United States? They're just there for the free Chargers, Camaros, and Challengers.
1,000 more sign up every year. We allow that in our U.S. military. We allow it in a couple of other states, and more states are adding on to this list of states that are allowing legal permanent residents. So I'm proud that we are doing this. I think it's the right thing to do.
Wow.
It's also good for our police departments. And oh, by the way, the Fraternal Order of Police has supported it.
100 recently signed more than 130 bills, and among the new laws, one allowing non-citizens to become police officers in Illinois.
Political reporter Scott Schneider live in studio with details on this. Scott.
Anthony Nelly, this law requires that immigrants be legally authorized to work under federal law. The bill's sponsor called it a natural progression now that some undocumented immigrants can become healthcare workers and military members. However, it's been highly criticized by Republicans and the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. The FOP issued a statement earlier this month ahead of Friday's bill signing.
So Governor Pritzker just said that the Fraternal Order of Police supported it, and you know, the news is saying that it's been highly criticized. So which one is it, Governor?
It reads in part, what message does this legislation send when...
And this is coming straight from the Fraternal Order, the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police, which, I mean, did this man just make a bold-faced lie?
It allows people who do not have legal status to become the officers of our laws. This is a potential crisis of confidence in law enforcement at a time when our officers need all the public confidence they can get. The organization continued by writing that it does support potential police recruits once their citizenship status is solidified. Now, the new law takes effect January 1st. Next hour, we're going to hear from the bill's main sponsor, Barbara Hernandez of Aurora.
All right, thank you, Scott.
130 bills into law on Friday. One of them will allow non-citizens to serve on the state's police force. Anthony Napolitano is a Chicago alderman and former Chicago police officer, and he joins me now. Good morning to you. Got a lot going on in Illinois with 130 bills signed into law in one day. But this measure that would allow non-citizens to become police officers, who exactly are we talking about here?
You know, they say it's dedicated more towards the DACA folks that have come into the country. You know, and this is just another statement that Illinois is always trying to be the most progressive state that there is. Nothing's ever done for the Illinois people. It's always done for political agenda. And, you know, this is going to set a standard now that you're going to be looking at non-residents, non-citizens of the United States that are going to be locking up citizens of the United States. This is a mouthful for Illinois folks to swallow right now. Doesn't seem like it's done in the best intention of people from Illinois or even from this country.
Yet a Fraternal Order of Police released a statement. They're against this measure as well. They say, what message does this legislation send when it allows people who do not have legal status to become the enforcers of our laws?
Yeah, and you know what? That's an incredible point. And think of this concept, too. I took the test in 1997. One of the questions I had to answer is, am I a citizen? what else are they going to remove from the standards of these tests? Are they going to remove the required education level that you're supposed to have? If so, think of the thousands and thousands of Illinois folks that took these tests that did not get on the job because of that. Now they're pulling out standards, and they're going to hire people that aren't even residents or citizens of the United States. And you're passing over all these Illinois people that could have been on these jobs, could have filled these positions, and we would not have a hole in our judicial system or in our police departments for lack of officers.
Yeah, and
this is another slap in Illinois people's face.
Yeah, and the statement that I think actually sums up the Republican position in a very interesting way comes from the bill's sponsor, who's a Democrat. Her name is Barbara Hernandez, and she said that this bill is just a natural progression of things because undocumented immigrants can be healthcare workers, they could be military members, so they should be allowed to be police officers too. And Republicans have all along been saying, okay, they could be healthcare workers, now they're going to be police officers, maybe they'll be teachers eventually, they will...
Lawyers? I mean, what precedent does this set if you got undocumented or documented immigrants? Undocumented, documented doesn't freaking matter. You're an immigrant. You're not a U.S. citizen yet. So, you know, if they can become lawyers, what type of precedent does this set that somebody who's not even a citizen is, you know, defending or prosecuting U.S. citizens? It just doesn't set the right tone. Just like a immigrant arresting a U.S. citizen does not set the right tone. And the reason why they're doing this is because they want to militarize the police. I mean, even though it's already been militarized, the higher ups rather want to militarize the police and make the police interaction impersonal so that a police officer doesn't really empathize with the American plight because he is an immigrant and he doesn't really care about the American people. What he cares about is getting that check. So he's going to do whatever he wants or whatever he has to do to keep his citizenship, to earn his citizenship, and to continue to have the gravy train coming in for his family and his country, which they are sending back the money to their country all the time, 100%.
Gain the right to vote, and they're going to vote Democrat.
And that's the move. That's the standard of this move right now is to bring as many people in this country in as you possibly can, give them this type of opportunity, but then point back at the party that did it for you. And next thing you know, everyone's just going to vote Democrat. Mm. This is a move. This is a political move, and that's all this is.
Well, other bills that the governor signed into law makes changes to the state's parole system, expands voting rights for prisoners. He also banned using e-cigarettes in public spaces. So like I said at the top, got a lot going on in Illinois. 130 changes. Alderman Napolitano, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe, hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all tell me what they say.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
what
over your
more
store.
do you want from me?
Immigration in America is not just about people crossing the southern border. This morning, we want to focus on the places migrants go after they enter this country. Some of those cities, as you know, are really struggling to manage all the arrivals. New York City is now using old schools and hotels to shelter busloads of migrants sent from places like Texas. Chicago has just opened a new temporary shelter for migrants over the weekend, and it is already filling up very quickly. Adriana Diaz visited a Chicago police station where the migrants are staying because there are no other options.
So not only are they allowing them to become police officers, but they're also housing them at police stations. I mean, this is different. I mean, this is absolutely insane.
With nowhere else to go, migrants are sleeping in police stations.
Colombia, Panama, Nicaragua.
Hazel Ledesma traversed 8 countries with her young family from Venezuela. They crossed the U.S.-Mexico border months ago, but the trauma feels like yesterday.
El Río Bravo, el agua me llegó aquí, con la bebé cargada.
The Rio Grande River and the water was up to here. And you were holding the baby, estaba cargando la niña?
So obviously they are fleeing Mexico for a reason. Look, honestly, I don't give a damn about the reason why they're fleeing. Y'all need to get y'all country under control. Obviously, the cartel has control of the country, and that's a you problem. All right. Now, if you want to come, you know, the right way into the country, I'm all for it. But y'all abandon your own country. Now you want to come over here and mess up our country. I'm not saying everybody, because let's keep it a buck. Most of the people who are coming across are not just women and children. All right. So can you say, oh, yeah, I feel sorry that she came over? And I mean, look, you probably shouldn't have came in the damn first place.
The city wants a temporary shelter in this former school on the south side.
How could you do that without consulting us?
But some residents have sued, saying in part their community is already strapped. Incoming Mayor Brandon Johnson addressed the crisis at his swearing-in ceremony Monday.
The soul of Chicago tells us we will never close our doors to those who come here in search of a better life.
To help alleviate crowding at police stations, the mostly Latino community of Pilsen is building their own shelter as they fill it, installing showers, even cutting hair. Doug Wynn owns the building and worked with local leaders and volunteers to create this space.
I guess there was a reason we didn't rent it for the last couple of years. I mean, there must have been some other purpose, right? This is so much better.
While there, we met 1-year-old Andres and his mom, Wendy Benitez.
McAllen, Texas. So you got here on a bus that was organized by the government in Texas?
Sí, señora, correcto. Yo pedí el vuelo para acá porque acá parecía que habían albergues disponibles y entonces cuando llegas realmente no es así.
So you heard that there were shelters with space here in Chicago, so you came to Chicago, but that wasn't the case.
Wendy Rondon's family spent 3 nights on a police station floor. Her 12-year-old Brian describes their journey as both good and bad.
Lo malo es que nos quedamos en la calle, durmiendo, y pasamos por la selva.
The bad part is that they had to be on the street, sleeping on the street, crossing through the jungle.
Lo bien es que llegaste acá, que lo queríamos.
Mom says the good part is that
They laugh. I mean, this little boy laughing. He looked like he done went on a damn adventure.
we arrived. The number of migrants at this police station grew between Thursday when we were here and yesterday when we came back. And there are people inside this building right now. One of the first orders of business for the mayor was establishing a deputy mayor for immigrant and refugee rights. The local alderman here told us there are roughly 600 migrants at police stations across the city. Nate?
It's a large number. Adriana, thank you.
Ravi, most Park District programs here at the Broadway Armory will shut down starting tomorrow, like the fitness center and gymnastics programs. People here in the Edgewater community are left feeling both welcoming to migrants and frustrated with the city over what they say was a lack of communication about plans to shut down this popular Park District space to the public.
So they shutting down American amenities for these migrants. I mean, we already know the community is not welcoming to this type of thing, but they voted for this. They all voted for it, and it's absolutely hilarious to see because they all voted for this, man. It's absolutely insane.
It was another raucous night, this time on the north side, in the city's ongoing dilemma of where to house an ever-growing population of asylum seekers.
It is hard for us to repurpose space, but it is a time that we're living right now where we need to repurpose space.
Right now, more than 800 migrants are sleeping in Chicago police stations and the city's 2 airports, waiting for space to join the 5,700 others staying in city-open shelters. Overall, more than 11,500 migrants have flooded Chicago since August of last year. Starting next Tuesday, Edgewater's sprawling Broadway Armory will be one of them.
Most of our programming will end tomorrow.
Gymnastics and popular community access facilities in the Armory will close to the public for now. That's not sitting well with many of the neighborhood's residents.
Ironically, the programs that you are moving out are the very programs that these migrant children and adolescents will need.
It's a morally divisive discussion in a community with deep, diverse immigrant roots.
How can you survive without a shelter? What do you do when you don't have a roof? You don't have food.
Go back to your own country. How about that? I'm trying to figure out, like, you had a roof, you left.
The Armory is not being shut down. It's being used to help people in need.
Boo.
Now, it's important to note services for senior citizens like daily hot meals that are served here will still be open and available once the Armory becomes a shelter on Tuesday. The city says 250 migrant children and families will start moving in, and the city will reevaluate this situation in about 6 months.
People who live in Woodlawn are calling on police to investigate after they say their neighbors were assaulted by migrants staying at the former Wadsworth School building. A video posted to Facebook purports to show migrants fighting with residents and breaking car windows. People who were allegedly attacked say they can positively identify the people who assaulted them.
I'm asking and calling for the federal judge to speed up the process of the asylums. There's no way that they should be able to take Woodlawn, this community, under house arrest and make these residents afraid to even come out and sit out and enjoy this sunshine.
So you see, you know, the community doesn't like it when they get assaulted and their property is damaged. However, it doesn't matter when we do it to other groups. And now these things are coming back on us tenfold with the migrant situation. And we're going to have to eat it. We're going to have to bite it. We're going to have to chew it. We're going to have to swallow it. We're going to have to like it. Because this is what we voted for. This is how we vote. And they can't even see that part of it that they demanded. They asked for this. They begged for this. So it's actually funny when you look at it in hindsight. I'm not in Illinois, so I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just observing the huge mistakes that black people are making in these democratic cities.
And it's fresh air like we do.
Community activists say the senior citizens living nearby are fed up and want their neighborhood to be safe. We have reached out to Chicago police for a response.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.